Good morning, boys and girls. I'm here to walk you through another lesson again. We're looking at lesson number 8 in this chapter, only one more after this to go. And this is one of my favorite lessons in this chapter. We're going to look at the hundreds chart and look at some different patterns that you can see and how the hundreds chart can be a super valuable tool when you're working on your math. This first one under the listen and draw section is just fill in, one that's mostly filled in for you. So when you get to this part, you'll just grab your pencil and all you got to do is fill in the blank numbers. This one is pretty easy, and feel free, I believe you have a hundreds chart already in your yellow packet. So feel free to get it out and use your hundreds chart. And most of you, I bet, could do this on your own pretty quickly. All right, then the second thing you'll do is it's going to ask if you can count by different numbers. And the really tricky part is, can you count by different numbers starting on different numbers? And again, you can use the hundreds chart as a very handy tool to help you with this. For example, counting by 1 starting with 1 is something everyone's done lots of times, but counting by 1 starting with 29 or a different number can be a little more challenging. So if we look at, I think I can move these off. My screen's being a little bit finicky. We'll just keep going. But these are just reveal boxes. And so you'll really focus on counting by 1s and by 5s, starting with things other than 1. So you'll start counting by 1s with 1, and then you'll try 29 and some other numbers. You'll also count by 5s, starting with 5, and counting by 5s, starting with other numbers. There, that's a little hard for me to say. All right, when you get to the on your own section, you'll be asked to count by 1s. There is a hundreds chart right here, and you can see that there's some blank, there's some starting numbers, and then there's some blanks to fill in. So starting with 78, or starting with 77, 78, what do you think would come next? I'll give you just a second to think about that, and I will move the picture of me up a little bit so we can see our hundreds chart. 79. And if you're not sure what hop is next, find 79 on your hundreds chart, and you can look at what's right next to it, and that would be 80. And then return sweep back, 81, 82, 83, etc. When you count by 5s, you'll see this middle column and this end column will be your pattern base. So like 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. That's a really cool pattern, I think. Anyway, I like these puzzle pieces like this, or these problems like this. And the problem solving, now this one, in past years, this one has been a little bit challenged because people think of it as an addition problem or something like that. But listen to what it says. Andy counts by 1s. He starts at 29 and stops at 45. Which of the following numbers will he say? Circle them. So what I did was I made a list for us to kind of look at. If you started counting at 29 and ended at 45, let me fix my mistake here so I don't have to re-record the whole thing. 29, 30. If you started at 29 and counted all the way up to 45, which of these numbers would you say? Is 31 in the list? And you look over and see if you could find it. Yes, it is. Is 20 in the list? No. 35? I see it right there. I see 39. I don't see 47 or 46, but I do see 40. So you kind of have to take your time with this particular problem and make sure that you work slow enough that you can, what do I want to say, that you check each number. Don't just guess. Maya counts by 5s. She starts at 5 and stops at 50. Which of the following numbers will she say? Circle them. What I'd like you to do when you get to this one is actually write it out in some space. You can use a scrap piece of paper, or you can use your space in your workbook margins. Anywhere where there's white space, you can write